what's up YouTube, it's your Moonstone, and I'm just looking at this camera for the first time, and I gotta say, it looks amazing. Yeah, and today I'm going over a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I mean, it's been really personal on me, and I feel like I have to get off my chest, get it out. I have to pull it out of my heart and just throw it, yeah, like bam, 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 so I could relieve the endless waterfall in my mind. I'm sorry that sounds like something out of a movie. It probably is. I probably heard someplace and just had it in a dream or something. I don't know. Before I get into that, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And hit that bell button so you don't miss a new video coming out. And now, onto the video. Now first, I want to point out one thing. I think you could be friends with pretty much anyone, no matter what their age are or what species they are. Like one of my closest friends when I was growing up, I had a dog, and we did everything together. He was like, I feel like he's probably what got me into wolves and Siberian Huskies and basically my whole persona in the first place, but he sadly passed. But that happens to everyone eventually. And some friends you can actually have when they're not even real, like imaginary friends. Because if you're a loner, which I personally was back when I was younger, you tend to come up with a lot of imaginary people. My brother did too, and we were both confused by each other's imaginary friends as one another. But I think the most important type of friends are the friends that come, but can also leave last second. Because sometimes important people come only once in our life, and sometimes when they leave, they're not so important anymore. But that's where my story comes in. Back when there was a lockdown going on, like back around the schools and everything, I was really having trouble at homeschool. I mean, I could barely keep on track of my assignments. I couldn't ask any questions really easily, because everyone was asking questions, and I just couldn't focus on my work. I was literally failing school because of e-learning, and that absolutely sucked. So, one thing I did to get out of learning most of the time, I would ask my mom, "Hey mom, can I ride my bike around the block and, love some extra energy?" Because I have a lot of energy sometimes. And she would be like, "Oh yeah, sure, Moonstone, go right ahead, have some fun, but make sure to wear your helmet, and not to run into any cars, and stop if you see a car coming." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, don't worry mom, I know exactly how to do that." And at first I never wore a helmet, but after I actually skinned my knee one time, I wore a helmet ever since about that. And when I got to ride my bike around the block, I would usually go around in a humongous circle around our block, kind of like a square, and I would see a lot of kids playing. I would see some little girls playing in the front yard. One time during winter, they were building a snowman in a snow fort, which I have to say, it looked amazing. A lot of times, I saw this group of boys who were playing basketball in this little basketball hoop thingy that was by the road. And that's when I first saw him. I'm not giving out his name, because I don't put my own thing in it. He was in 4th grade, and yet something really bad happened to him. But I'm just gonna call him Rocky, because his name starts with an R, and R is the something letter in the alphabet. And Rocky, at first I didn't know what to make of him. When I first actually came eye contact with him, I was riding my bike by, I was turning back to go around to my house, and he just looked at me, and he smiled and waved. And I waved back at him. And soon afterwards, it was around the time when they were planning on trying to restart real school, and I continued riding my bike because it was a small hobby I liked. But then one day, I was riding there, and he walked by. He said, "Hey, what's your name?" I'm like, "Oh, hey little kid." I was 13 at the time. "My name is Moonstone. Pleased to meet ya." He was like, "Pleased to meet you too. I saw you riding my bike around." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Do you go to the big school?" And I'm like, yes, I do." Looking back at that now, I think he probably asked that because he thought I was one of the cooler kids. Because a lot of the cooler kids did real good sports activities and stuff like that. But I'm not a cool kid. I'm not an unpopular kid either. I'm just a normal person at school. Like, there's nothing about me that really stands out, except for the projects I've done, and for the things I've done during performances. And afterward, he said, "Hey, is it okay to come play?" And I'm like, yeah, sure, why? Are you feeling a little lonely?" And he said, "Well, most of my friends are a little busy right now, and I want to get to know you." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And after a while, we eventually did start playing. I would drive over to his house, we would play basketball together. I even got to meet some of his other newer friends. They were around the same age as him, only 2 of them were just starting to go into the big school. That's the name I'm calling my middle school / high school now, because I can't give out his true name. And they were pretty cool guys. I never saw anything wrong with them. During the winter, we would all go to this humongous hill in our town and just go sledding. I even let them borrow some of my sleds. I have a bunch of sleds, and I gotta admit, it was pretty good. I can even call those guys my friends. But nowadays, looking back at them, what they are now, I feel like they're completely different people. I think it all started about 1.5 years ago. I was just finishing up 8th grade, and that's when I started to notice things that were a little bit off with him. I mean, he started wearing less formal school clothes, and he started talking a little more tough. Like, kind of like a gangster, like tough. If you guys haven't read The Outsiders, it was a really good book, by the way. I recommend reading it. That can kind of give you an idea of what he was acting like. He was acting like a greaser, and if you don't know what that is, just ignore that. And his friends slowly acted that way too, and eventually they started, cussing and swearing a lot. They're acting like completely airheaded high school kids, and some of them they were going to middle school. But here's the thing, Rocky was still in 4th grade. He was just going to 5th grade, so he was acting completely nuts. And yet, when he was around me, he acted completely normal. He acted as if he didn't do that, and I didn't question it. I figured, hey, maybe just going through a stage or something. I mean, he is hanging around guys that are going through that. But no, it just kept getting more crazy, and yet, no matter what happened, he always acted completely normal around me. And eventually, I stopped going to see the other kids because those other kids, they're acting like... If you guys didn't see my first video, I had that locker room incident. They were acting just like those dumb boys from that locker room incident, and it just brought a lot of trauma in me, like past experience that it really affected my mental health. I even talked to school counselor. That's what she said. You have to stay away from stuff like that, or else it could affect your mental health. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I know I shouldn't go near Rocky that much either because of how he's changed, but I thought, hey, I'll just give Rocky some time. The only time I spoke to him after that was when I was riding my bike, and I saw him and he waved hi, and I said hi. We have a short conversation, then I just ride on, and this part you're probably going to feel very controversial about, but don't search this on the news, please. It wasn't on the news. It was just a small crime thing. He got sent to juvie. As you probably don't know from the video title, but yeah, he got sent to juvie, and after that, his whole family had to move. He still went to juvie, but his family just couldn't stay around anymore, especially after that happened. He was trying to steal something from... Okay, I'm not going to give out the location. And he tried to have a fight with one of his other friends, only he had a pocket knife. No one got hurt, but they did have to call his parents. They did actually call the police on him. I actually saw the cops by his house one time when I was getting off the bus, and I never saw him after that. I did speak to his parents one time when I saw them packing to leave, and they said, well, we'll try and help him out. I mean, it's a little hard for him. I don't know what caused him to go absolutely berserk, or what caused him to change from this really nice 4th grader that I became friends with over the whole pandemic to just this gangster-like kid. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of kids lately that cuss and swear and act like they shouldn't be acting like that way, and it really has me scared for future generations of 4th graders and stuff, because my 4th grade year, which is only 6 years ago, nothing like that ever happened, so it's a heavy blow on me. And Rocky, I don't know if you're watching this video right now, because he was subscribed to my channel. He's been subscribed since the very beginning. But Rocky, or any of the other kids that you played with, if you're watching this, don't take this the wrong way. Don't take it too harsh. I just have to get this on my chest because I feel like the world needs to hear it. It's just... I don't know what else to do about it. If you guys are asking how he's doing now, I honestly have no idea. I don't know which juvie he was sent to. There's actually a few in the state where I live, at least 3. So, I don't know, but I'm trying to forget about that. I'm trying to forget about all of that because it's not really good for mental health at the moment. It's not really good for anyone's mental health, so I'm just doing the best thing I can do, which is move on. And if you guys have any other experiences like that where something like that happens to you or your friend, I honestly feel like the best thing you do is move on. Because if you stay stuck in that moment, it's not really going to do any good. So, yeah. That's all for today's video. I'm sorry it's a little kind of sad and a little crazy, but this is something I had to share with you guys. I just had to share it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. But until we meet again, my precious pepperonis, peace. See you later. Bye.